Hello, good morning. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. Local leaders from Tarakeka County have called on the Central Equatoria State Governor to address critical needs in the area urgently, including the construction of water reservoirs, improvements in education and healthcare services. The Bank of South Sudan has launched a 5-day workshop for its staff aimed at enhancing national capacity in anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism using a risk-based approach to strengthen financial integrity across the country. And the National Transitional Legislative Assembly is set to reopen today after more than 6 months of prolonged recess. These are stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo. And now the news in detail. Local leaders from Tarakeka County have called on Central Equatoria State Governor to address the critical needs in the area urgently, including the construction of water reservoirs, improvements in education and healthcare service. They made this call during a high-level meeting with Governor Rabbi Mujung Emmanuel on Monday at the State Secretariat in Juba. The delegation led by acting chairperson of the Mundare community, Wani Buyu, and Tarakeka County Commissioner Emmanuel Loko Ladu, consisted of parliamentarians, traditional chiefs, youth, and women leaders. The group presented that these critical services will mitigate seasonal cattle migration, strengthen food security, and foster peaceful coexistence. In response, Governor Mujung pledged to work closely with the local leaders on development to address the concerns raised. However, the governor emphasized the need for unity across Central Equatoria, citing it aligns with national directives from President Salva Kiir aimed at enhancing peace and stability across the country. However, Mr. Buyu highlighted the need for agricultural tools to encourage farming and reduce dependence on livestock, emphasizing the community's commitment to peace and development along borders with Jonglei and Lake State. The Bank of South Sudan has launched a 5-day workshop for its staff aimed at enhancing national capacity in anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism using a risk-based approach to strengthen financial integrity across the country. In his opening remarks yesterday, Samuel Yanga Mikaya, the first Deputy Governor for Policy and Banking, urged the participants to maximize the opportunity and learn from peers with advanced expertise. He also encouraged them to share the practical knowledge they gained from the training. Mikaya said, and I quote, "This workshop is not just a learning opportunity, it's a platform for collaboration, innovation, and commitment to protecting our financial system from illicit activities," end quote. The bank acting Director General for Banking Supervision and Financial Stability, Dr. Majok Kwal Mading, alongside Mr. Godwin Senyoyondo, on-site unit manager from the Bank of Uganda, are co-facilitating the season. They are imparting the participants with knowledge and skills on the critical role of the risk-based approach in effective anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism supervision. The training focuses on the importance of tailoring supervision strategies based on the risk profiles of financial institutions to ensure resources are directed toward the areas of greatest vulnerability. South Sudan's Transitional National Legislative Assembly is set to officially reopen today following more than 6 months of recess, ending a prolonged break that began on December 15, 2024. Lawmakers were initially expected to return to the August House in the first week of April. However, the reopening has faced repeated delays despite several earlier announcements from the parliamentary leadership. Earlier this week, the legislature confirmed that the much-anticipated reopening would take place today, and invitations have been extended to media houses to cover the event. The resumption of parliamentary business is expected to renew momentum on critical legislative priorities, including bills related to the peace implementation process, economic reforms, and public service oversight. Observers say the reopening comes at a crucial time as the country prepares for the transitional roadmap milestone and anticipated national elections. This is iRadio Morning News, and now to the international scene. Nigeria's former president Muhammadu Buhari has been buried at his home in northern Nigeria 2 days after his death at the age of 82 at a clinic in London. His body was flown back to the country earlier on Tuesday, and his successor, Bola Tinubu, was at the airport in Katsina State to receive the remains. It was then taken to Buhari's hometown of Daura, where with hundreds attending, Islamic funeral prayers were held at the central mosque. His body was finally interred in a grave dug in the grounds of his home, with dignitaries including Tinubu, Guinea-Bissau President Umaru Sissoco Embalo, and Buhari's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo present. Finally, thousands of Afghans have moved to the UK under a secret scheme which was set up after a British official inadvertently leaked their data. In February 2022, the personal details of nearly 19,000 people who had applied to move to the UK after the Taliban seized power in Afghanistan were leaked. The previous government learned of the breach in August 2023 when some of the details appeared on Facebook. A new resettlement scheme for those on the leak list was set up 9 months later and has seen 4,500 Afghans arrive in the UK so far. This is iRadio Morning News. And to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. Local leaders from Tarakeka County have called on the Central Equatorial State Governor to address critical needs in the area, urgently including the construction of water reservoirs, improvements in education and healthcare services. The Bank of South Sudan has launched a 5-day workshop aimed at enhancing national capacity in anti-money laundering and counter-financing of terrorism using a risk-based approach to strengthen financial integrity across the country. The National Transitional Legislative Assembly is set to reopen today after more than 6 months of prolonged recess. That's the end of iRadio Morning News. If there is a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287 It's also a WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page iRadio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for the news in Arabic at the top of the hour. I am Lasuba Memo. Thanks for listening.
Looking for the perfect